Hey there, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, you guys, tonight we are starting another one of our alphabet letters. We are working on the letter G this week. The giraffe. So we're going to get started on that with ironing our piece to fabric and getting started stitching. So thanks again for joining me. Let's get going on that. All right, hello. I'm going to zoomy you guys all in here tonight. Thanks so much for joining. All right, and you can also see I have my little chickens here. Oh, Robin says she loved her mystery gift. Oh, that makes me so happy. Yay! I love giving out those mystery gifts for sure. But so it is May all of a sudden, and our new embroidery of the month is our cute little chickens. Here is the kit. It's inspired by my in-laws' chickens. I'm going to put together a TikTok, I think, tomorrow just to show you a bunch of their little chickens. We took a ton of video, and you'll see some of these fellers in there, I think, for sure. So that just came out yesterday, and that is our embroidery of the month this month. Oh, Robin says, I just love the chickens. I do too. This one's a fun one. It's actually something that's been asked for us to do for a long time. Adrian says, it's so cute and very vintagey looking. Exactly. It's got that vintage feel for sure. This would be like super duper fun on like a tea towel or something too. Oh, Robin says she collects chickens. Ugh, they're so fun. They're so sweet. Got little babies in there. Little mama hen and little rooster guy. But that's going to be fun to stitch. So we'll be stitching that in the third week of May. We will be stitching that up, and I'm excited to stitch it too with you guys. Oh, Ellen says, I have a chicken and was hoping you'd have a chicken embroidery someday. I can't wait to show you guys all the video from my in-laws' house and their chickens. So I'll definitely have to put that video together tomorrow. But tonight we are working on the giraffe embroidery. This is from our ABC collection of embroidery patterns that I made like 10 years ago, but we have never actually done a stitch along with it. So we are doing that now. We are donating quite a bit of sales for this to the Minneapolis Crisis Nursery. So you can feel good about stitching this. And we're also going to be selling, like having an auction for the quilt we're going to make out of it, and then that money from that auction will go to the Minneapolis Crisis Center too. So here are the ones that we've done so far. Oh, here's my little test piece. This is where we've been doing our test designs on. We got our test quilting, since I'm practicing my free motion quilting. So we got the A, the B, we colored that guy in with crayons. Letter C for the kitty cat. D, this one we put some text in there as well. Oh, and we put his like shiny, sparkly, is super duper shiny. This is with that Nishikito thread, but look how just metallic and shiny that turned out. That was fun. We did the E last month, did some turkey work on the tail. That's always really fun. Look how poofy it is. So sweet. And the quilting, I really love the quilting on this one, how that turned out. And then we did the letter F. That's backwards. There's a peek at the back. I know everyone wants to see the back of the embroidery, but it is a nice clean back right there. And we did a whole pile of little French knots on the letter F for that. So we didn't quilt this one yet because I figured let's rack up a few and do the quilting. Oh, and Kinza, I have chicken soup. Yeah, just as a reminder, this is our embroidery of the month. It is discounted when you subscribe to the embroidery of the month. We also have it as a PDF pattern and a fabric only along with our kit. So here's our kit. Super gifty for any of those chicken lovers in your life who also like chilling and crafting. It's definitely beginner friendly for sure, but we'll be stitching that the 3rd week of the month. So be sure to check that out. Shirley says, I love the chicken. All right, so today we're going to be starting the giraffe, and then next week we'll be doing the hedgehog. So we're going in order. So GH is this month's designs. All right, and ultimately here's kind of the layout of the quilt we'll be doing. I kind of have it all laid out in this sort of way. We're doing the quilt as you go method, so this sashing in here is what's going to hold all of our like pre-quilted pieces together. What's the P and the K and the L? Let's see. I know, but I don't have to actually look it up. I do know what it is, but I just wanted to show you at the same time. So the L is the lion. The P is a little piggy. There we go. He's so sweet. I love him. Okay, K is the koala. So we've stitched that one here before. We actually last year did a whole quilt. Gosh, that had to be more than last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. We did a community quilt. So a whole pile of people from the penguin and fish community, so people like you, stitched the K, stitched the koala, and sent it to me. And then my mom and I made it into a koala quilt, which we then did an auction for and donated that money. That was when all those poor little koalas were, geez, like that, just getting dehomed and burnt up in Australia a couple years ago. It was just so sad. So we did a little collection for that. Okay, so we have our fabric. I'm using just some cotton muslin, and I have the iron heated up. So we have in here the iron-on transfer, and that's what I'm going to use tonight just because it's fast. So we have a traceable pattern that comes with our patterns, and then an iron one, and this is what I'm going to use. You could use the stick and stitch with this or just trace it, but tonight I am using the iron-on, and you can see it's in reverse. That's because we're going to be flipping it over and pressing it, and then it'll be the correct size at that point. Any more birds? We do have a pile of birds in our normal kit, so you can check those out at Penguin and Fish, but let's see, what other birds? We have an owl. Here, I'll just page through these really quick. H, I, J, little jellyfish. I'm excited to do him again. So we are going to stitch the koala again. I know we stitched that a couple of years ago for, the newt. I'm going to like stitching him too. So we have the owl. We have a little quail for Q. He's cute. Seahorse. Oh, unicorn. That's kind of like our only like non-real animal, I suppose. Gosh, you know what? I do remember, that might be it for the birds. Wow, I'm actually surprised at that. I do remember actively trying to not do a ton of birds because I had done lots of, like I was scared to use too many birds, really. And I have other patterns and stuff that have birds and stuff too. And again, like the chickens this month, got to get our birds on. And last month we had a bird as well for our embroidery of the month. So I remember being wary of doing just a ton of birds. This is like 10 years ago when I made those initial alphabet patterns. But I do remember, like I kept thinking of birds for the ones after I just did it. I'm like, I can't do like a two birds in a row and stuff. So I think it just kind of, I ended up not doing as many birds as I thought, really, actually. All right, I am going to cut off this Iron Me text. I forgot to do that. You don't want that transferring, so I'm going to just trim that off. And you just saw me kind of preheating my fabric here. And you do want to do that. So I am just going over my fabric with some heat. Oh, and I forgot one important thing. So I typically put down a piece of just like a paper towel or a paper bag first, because that you don't want the iron-on transfer to transfer all the way to your ironing board. I mean, I just have like a wool pressing mat, so you probably wouldn't see it, but on the ironing board, you might actually end up pressing the design to your ironing board. All right, so again, preheating the fabric, that really helps this process. And then I'm going to flip my design around and center it. I'm just eyeballing it. I do have a lot of extra edge on my design, so I'm not, or on the fabric, so I'm not too worried about it being perfect. All right, and then I'm going to place the iron on top. I'm going to kind of hold it there for 5 seconds. Let's just peek how it's doing. Oh, that's coming along already, I think. Oh yeah, that's plenty good, I think. There we are. Transfer it right on. I could have stayed on the ear a little bit longer, but I could see the edge, so I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I might actually do another one right away. I've been kind of collecting a second set, because in my head I would love to do an ABC book, like a soft kids book sort of thing. I'm just going to use the same transfer to do another one. So I've been making 2 right away. You can use the transfer like up to 5 times or so. You might have to hold it on longer each time. But yeah, so I'm printing a second set. I don't know if I'll, I don't know when I'll stitch these, but I do want to make like that ABC book out of it. That's probably plenty. Just peeking. Yeah, we're good. There we are. He's pretty sweet. Okay, so, and I'm gonna just hang on to this guy, because like I said, I can probably get a few more prints out of him if I want to do that, so I'll just put that in a bin. All right, or in like a folder, like a binder. That's what I meant. Not a bin, a binder. All right, so I think this guy will set to the side. I'll use for the that book, and then we will stitch this guy today. And I think, you know, I said I could see the edge of the ear, and I can, but I'm gonna just go over it really quickly with a little pencil. I don't think it's gonna fade or anything, but just to see it a hair better. There we go. I think that's plenty good. All right, so, and we haven't been necessarily sticking to everything exactly as far as colors and technique and all that with this quilt so far, so we can play it up a little bit, but I was thinking I do want to stitch these dots. Here's the design right here. I do want to use this bright orange, this California poppy color of ours, just because, you know, like on the front, just because we haven't used it yet. So I'm trying to use the same pack of floss. We have 23 colors of embroidery floss that we had produced, and I'm trying to see how far I can get with this whole ABC with the same collection, and it looks like, oh, here's another color we haven't used yet. So it looks like we've used almost every color so far, and here's another one, except for Overcast, which is this gray, this teddy bear color, which is the brown, Scuba Dive, which is the blue, and California Poppy. Those are kind of some fun colors together. We've used all the other ones at some point or another, so I definitely want to play with this California Poppy just because we haven't used it yet. So I think we'll start with that even. So that means I think we're going to start with, maybe we'll just go like top to bottom. We'll start with his little, oh my god, what are those called? I swear we looked this up at some point, like what those little nubbins on the giraffe are. But what are those? We'll start with the nubbins. They're giraffe nubbins right now. Oh, Catherine says, I love the mystery gift with the peony. Oh, good. That makes me happy. Thanks so much. Yeah, I want to fold a few more of those Mother's Day cards yet. Oh, you guys, I think I'm going to go live tomorrow during the day, like during the afternoon. I'm going to pack up all the embroidery of the month orders, and just like every order that's down there, I'm just working on orders tomorrow. So I think I might go live for that. So, and we might do another little like freebie thing. I know what we did. We did a couple days ago. Anyone who watched and bought a embroidery kit during our live, during the live, got a free mystery gift with their order. And I think we might do another thing like that. And it's going to be a really long live in the afternoon because it's going to take me a while to get all those orders done. So it might be a pretty long live. Or I might come on and off a few times. Okay, so Amy is saying it's, oh my god, how do you even pronounce that? Ossicones? Do we think that C is like a K sound or a S sound? I think C. A K sound. Okay, ossicones. All right, does that sound right? The little giraffe nubbins, ossicones. All right, ossicones. There's no way I'm going to remember that. You're going to have to say that every night we're working on this, so I remember. All right, I'm getting this dude in the hoop here. I'm just kind of pulling on it a little bit just to, if there's any, like you can see right here, it's a little bloopy. I'm just going to pull on that a little bit and then tighten it up again. And I think we're good about there. Using orange on the spots. Yep, I'm using the California Poppy color. Oh, here we are. The California Poppy color is what I'm using on the spots, and I think we'll start there. So we'll start. Catherine says I like the nubbins, so we'll start with the ossitones, the circle part of the ossitones, ossicones. I mean ossicones, or nubbins, giraffe nubbins. We'll start there, and then I think I'm just going to kind of work my way down. So we'll get his little hairs. Those are that orange color as well, and we'll satin stitch the circles. And maybe we'll do it like all different directions or something too. That'd be kind of fun. We could do those all different colors, but I don't know. We'll stick with the orange, I think. So, all right, let's get our 3 strands. I'm working with 3 strands for this, so let's just pull out our 3 strands one at a time. I think that's still kind of the easiest way, for me at least, to pull threads out. And 3. There we are. So this piece will be ready for when we run out, because I'm sure we will. All that satin stitch is going to take up a bunch of floss. Oh, Amy says I'm pronouncing it correctly, so ossicones. Ossicones. New word for the day. All right, let's grab a needle. Oh, by the way, if you're new to our embroidery kits, so we've been talking about the embroidery of the month. It comes with the needle and the hoop. So this is our embroidery of the month. You can kind of see in the back. You can't see the needle, but there is a needle in the fabric. The fabric is pre-printed, and it comes with a hoop and all your floss as well. And it has instructions in there as well. And we'll be stitching it live the 3rd week of May here. So this is the 1st week. 2nd week, we'll be stitching the hedgehog, and the 3rd week, we will be working on the embroidery of the month, which is those chickens. All right, yes, Robin, I'm using the California Poppy, that bright orange California Poppy color. All right, I'm going to start with an away knot, and I'm going to, that means I have to have a knot at the end of my thread, so I'm going to just use a quilter's knot way to do that. So all I did is tie a little knot there. An away knot is just a way to reserve a piece of thread so I can weave in the ends later. So, and that'll make sense in a little bit here, but so I'm going to start with a satin stitch right on the nubbins, or the ossicones. The giraffe ossicones. I'm going to just say it a lot, and then maybe I'll remember. So we're going to start there. But you can see I'm starting not there. I'm way far away from where I'm going to start stitching. But again, this is just to reserve my floss, and I'll show you what I mean right now. So I'm going to just come up for my first stitch here. I'm going to do a satin stitch, which just means I'm going to fill in this entire shape. But first I want to show you the that little thread that we're reserving there. That's like my waist thread, or I'm doing a waist knot here, and that thread I will later weave in to the end so I don't have any knots on the back. And I don't like knots on the back of my embroidery, just because my thread always catches on it like this. Like my thread will catch like that, and I'll have stitched like a bunch of stitches without knowing, and I hate that. So not using knots helps me a ton with that. All right, let's do this satin stitch. So I like starting, especially circles like this. I kind of like starting in the middle and then going on either side. So I'm just choosing to make like kind of diagonal stitches for my satin stitch. I guess I'm just kind of going in the same direction as the head. I'm using that as my guide. So I'm coming just outside of the line so I can cover up that line, and I'm going to go directly across, like just on barely the outside of that other line. So that's going to be my first acetone, ossicone. I mean, I've been saying acetone. I don't know why. Ossicone. Catherine's asking, do both male and female giraffes have ossicones? I have no idea. We're going to have to do a whole pile of giraffe research this week, I think. All right, so I'm going to come up on the same side that we started, right next to that first stitch. And I'm going to go across and end up right next to that stitch as well. So this is a very, very small space to fill in, so this won't take too long to fill with satin stitches. But I always want to start on my original side and then cross over to the opposite end. And then we're just following the line. So actually, I could get one more maybe tucked up in there, but I don't think I need it. I think I'm going to get the effect of the circle well here. So, all right, I did one side. Now I'm going to come back. I did like from the middle up, and now I'm going to go from the middle down. Little baby nubbins. There we go. They're cute. All right, so let's do the next one over. And again, I like kind of starting in the middle, so I'm going to do that again. Ooh. Oh, I thought maybe I had a knot in the back. I could feel something with my thumb, or my fingers back here. I always kind of like having my left hand back here. Hey, Plumeria, back here touching the stitches and the needle as it goes through. Then I can catch like some knots or feel if something feels weird and stuff. And it felt weird, but I think I'm just feeling the backs of the satin stitches. Everything looked nice on the back. All right, so let's cross over. There we go. And now I'm going to just follow that up, starting on the same side again. Okay, going back to the first side. Oh, so Amy's saying, satin stitch is so pretty when done right. I have a dickens of a time getting a circular, so this will be good for me to watch. Yeah, we'll have a whole pile of circles to practice on for sure with this giraffe one, with all his spots. Yeah, we'll have some practice Yeah, it'll probably look rectangular almost until you get that taper going. I'm thinking like this was feeling pretty square, but then I had like a little bit of taper, and I think we're getting the effect across. But there we go. That's our first little bit done. And so his little hairs are orange, this orange as well. So I think I might do a few, then get this satin stitch in, and then maybe do a few more, and I don't know, jump to this satin stitch, or is that silly? I could do like a few satin stitches, yeah, or I don't know. I think I'm gonna just do some as I go. So let's just jump on down here. These are just gonna be like one big stitch. I mean, I guess it's not that big. It's gonna be like one little hair stitch. So I think I'm just gonna go back and forth on this till I get to like the bottom of this first spot, and then I will start satin stitches on the spot, and then we'll continue. So I think maybe there. All right, so we can just kind of decide what angle. Like here I went, my angle was kind of like the same angle as the head for these nubbins, for the ossicones. But for these, we could actually go all different directions if we wanted. And, or we could go like all the same direction. So let's see, what did I do on here? Oh, it looks like I almost did the same direction on all of these. I did all horizontal. So what that's going to do, the angle of your satin stitch, I mean, this is really down in the weeds, but like the way the light hits your stitches, oh, thanks, Plumeria. The way the light hits your stitches is going to change with each different direction of like the way the light hits the stitches. It's going to look different on each different angle of satin stitches. So I kind of like the idea of them all going different directions, because then if you move it in the light, it's just gonna, just subtly, some will appear like shinier and brighter than others, and then you move it and then other ones will appear kind of shiny. I mean, that's super duper subtle, but it does make a difference if you're doing like a lot of satin stitch. You can tell on a final piece, so I think it's just kind of fun. So let's play around with that. So let's just do vertical ones here, because I can follow the neckline, and I think that might be a fun way to start. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So I'm just on the outside edge of the line, just so I can cover it up. And let's go straight up for this one. I am going to be doing a back stitch around the whole edge, so any like weird edges we have in this, like close to the neckline here, that's going to get all covered up, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, I might, in this case, put a few more guides down before filling in the space. I know these are kind of small, but that just helps me so I don't like veer off. So let's just put another guide post there. Try and get those perpendicular to each other. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of fill in the space between. And I'm always going to start, like I said, on the same edge each time. So I'm always going to start what I'm determining as the bottom and going up to the top. It's a circle, so I mean, you got to like just decide what's sort of the bottom edge. And then like the halfway point, you know, you got to imagine a halfway point, and that's the division between the top and the bottom. I think we can fit one more in there. And it's been a long time since I've stitched this little dude. This is gonna be fun. Kind of excited to quilt this one. I don't know how what our strategy for that is. All right, I think, you know, it is looking a little square here, so I do want to get one last one in, and I think we have space for the one, and this one's going to be just a little shorter, and just because the stitch is a little shorter, we're going to have the effect of a rounded shape here. I think. There we go. So there is our first satin stitched little spot. I bet you these spots are called something special too. Oh, Gina, thanks for asking. Gina's asking, how's John? I was going to tell you guys about that, and I already forgot. So John had, well, first of all, I'm going to keep going on these spots. I think I'll go, actually, maybe I'll stitch a few more of these guys in, and then I'll do this spot, and then jump up to here, and then do this spot down there. I think that's the direction I'm going to go. So I'm going to do that now while I chit-chat with you guys. So John had a surgery on Friday. Yes, on Friday, and it went really well and really quick. Like I said in my Facebook post, I didn't even have time to get my emergency craft project out. It was more just waiting before it in his room with him, and then they took him in, and about like 20 minutes later, they said he was done, and I talked to the doctor, and then I had to wait like another 10-15 minutes or so till I could go into the room again with him. But he's can totally walk. He could walk after the first day, on the first day, on surgery day, yet they wanted him to walk and move around, and he didn't seem like he was really having any pain at all. I mean, he was on some pain medication and stuff still, but like barely anything. Came out of anesthesia relatively easily, I guess. All right, I'm going to do a different angle. I'm going to do like a diagonal here. Just putting one in the middle first. So it went super well, and we went for like a longer walk today, and he was just like really excited at how it did not hurt to walk. He actually said his opposite leg felt stiff and hurt a little bit more, and it's probably just because he's been compensating with that one. But anyway, it went great. He's feeling great. He got to take the bandage off today, or it's been wrapped the past few days in like a huge, like his entire leg wrapped from like heel up past the knee in just like a huge ace bandage that he was supposed to leave on till Monday, which is today. So he was happy to take that off, and he was allowed to shower today, which I think he was pretty happy about. So I think he's feeling great. Very happy. He's happy he can walk without it hurting anymore. Oh, he had just if you guys don't know, he had a meniscus tear in his knee, and he had knee surgery on Friday. But it was a type of tear that it wasn't just going to heal on its own, and it was just going to get worse. So he decided to get surgery for it, and yeah, it went really well. So we kind of took it easy for the weekend, and I don't know, it's kind of hitting us today a little bit. We're exhausted today. We were pretty good over the weekend, and now we're just both kind of like, ugh, that's over, and exhausted. So that's why tomorrow I'm going to go live during the day and wrap up all your guys' orders and everything from the past couple days, from the weekend and from yesterday, or that was the weekend, from today. All the embroidery, the month kits, and all that. Because we were just exhausted today, basically. All right, I did a vertical one there. Let's do a horizontal one here. But yeah, it went great. We're happy it's done. We did not get ice cream and pizza, though. We should have. But we were out of there by like before noon, so that was great. Oh, thanks, Marie. Marie says your giraffe is adorable. Ugh, I appreciate that. Yeah, this one's a fun one. I do actually really like stitching all these little satin stitches. It's a ton of satin stitches, but it's fun. All these little baby circles. All right, I'm going to do the bottom side now. But yeah, we just did some laying around over the weekend and just some cleaning up and stuff. Ooh, actually, I drew a whole pile of, not a whole pile, but several of the next embroidery of the months and stuff. So I did actually get some work done over the weekend, which was nice. So can't wait to show you guys all that stuff. All right, looking cute. But here, up close, you can kind of see, like, if I move around slowly, I mean, it's subtle, but, like, the light will hit those satin stitches just a hair different each time. Like, here, if I block some of that light, you can see, like, it hitting it right on the top there a little bit versus this one. But if I, like, turn it a little, then the light will hit that one a little bit different. So that's just kind of why I think it's a little fun stitching the satin stitches in all different directions. Let's do another vertical one here, or let's do it angling the other way. We'll do another diagonal, but the opposite diagonal of this one. So let's just go, like, right to the point here. There we go. I don't think I need guides for that one. That was kind of right in the middle. So let's do one side, and then we'll get the other side. I am trying to stay, like, on the outer edge of these circles, just so I make sure that I'm covering up that outside edge. Yeah, and it was just like, he literally got to leave like a couple hours after getting there, and after even being put under anesthesia and everything. So it was just really nice that it went so easily. And recovery so far has been like nothing, it seems like, so that's great. Ooh, Stitch and Tori, do you ever use a laying tool or railroad? Wasn't sure if that was popular with embroidery. So I'm not 100% positive I know what you're talking about, but by railroad, do you mean, like, do I put, like, a bunch of guide posts in? Like just put a bunch of stitches parallel to each other, kind of a little bit of a distance, and then fill it in? Is that kind of what you mean? Or I'm gonna have to Google what a laying tool is. My main game is super basic beginnery stuff, so I don't always know what, like, the super fancy, I mean, not super fancy, but I don't know all the tools all the time. Oh, Jacob says, I tried for the first time yesterday, embroidery for the first time yesterday, and I quit because I could not get the needle threaded. Oh, I will show you my favorite way to thread a needle, and I'll do that right now. See if this works for you. Otherwise, I do have, you might want to use a needle threader as well. So here, I'll show you how I like threading my needle. So first of all, I will trim the end, like this end is a little fuzzy here. And it depends on your needle, and it depends on the thread that you're using. So just as a little recap, for an embroidery needle, you want a nice big eye. So like if we compare this to, I'm gonna get Zeb out here. He's my little needle holder thing. But yeah, so here's an example of two different needles. An embroidery needle will have a very large eye, compared to, here's just, I think this is a Milner's needle, but this has, for sewing thread, just like for sewing thread, not embroidery floss, it has a little baby needle, or little baby eye, compared to an embroidery or like a crewel needle that will have a bigger eye. So a larger eye is going to be helpful, especially if you're doing embroidery. And embroidery floss typically comes with 6 strands, so you can separate them pretty easily. Like if you just bop the top of it, you can see that there's 6 strands in here. A lot of times with embroidery, you want to split the strands up. So let me grab my little deal that I share with you guys every once in a while. The different number of strands gives you a different thickness of stitch. So like here's 6 strands. This is all 6 strands here. And you can see how thick the line is compared to like 1 strand here, how thin the line is. I usually do around 2 or 3 strands. For these animals, we're doing 3 strands, which looks like this. So I'm actually taking a 6-strand floss and separating it into 2 sets of 3. So you can actually stitch with all 6 strands, but 6 strands is way more difficult to thread because you have to you're getting all of those threads right in there. Even if you wanted to stitch with 6 strands, I would suggest still separating the 3 strands, separating it into 3 strands and threading the 3 and then just folding it in half and then stitching it with the 2 3s next to each other, which will make 6 strands. So just starting there, hopefully all that makes sense. I'm going to show you the way that I like threading my thread, and then I'll show you also with a needle threader, which works really well. And Kathy's saying I love the needle threaders. Yeah, these are super duper fun. So I'm actually, since I have this piece out here and I can get closer, I'm going to use this. So I do like to, this has 3 strands. So this is that second half that we pulled from here. I do like snipping the edge first. So you have a nice, sharp, clean edge with clean threads on there. Oh, you guys look, I'll have to tell you guys about that later. My pinky nail broke off, so I lost a bunch of purple on there. But anywho, I know I'm taking a long time to talk about this, but you want that edge cleaned up first, and I use the pinch method. It's a little harder with my nails now, but so I put the thread, the end, right in the middle of my 2 fingers, and you can make like a pinching motion, like so, and so you squeeze it tight, and then I'm going to slowly unsqueeze, and the moment you can see any little threads on there, so I can see the little orange, I'm going to just place my needle, the eye of the needle, on top of that and push down, and then I'm going to continue to unpinch, and you can see it just kind of goes right into the eye of the needle, and I just kind of grab the other end there. So that's the way that I like threading. A lot of people will lick the ends and then they'll try and be this far apart and try and threading that. I can't do it that way. That just seems super difficult. So again, I'm gonna pull the thread till it's in between my fingers, and I'm gonna make that pinch motion. And as I unpinch, the moment I see it, the end, I'm gonna stick that eye of the needle on top and just kind of wiggle it down, and there you go. Then you can grab that end and pull. So give that a try. Otherwise, here is a needle threader. This is your typical needle threader. I mean, mine are extra cute, I think. They got these cute little flowers on. But the tip of it is pretty similar to other needle threaders. It has a little V made out of, or a little diamond, I should say, made out of a little piece of thin metal here. Mine have these little cutters on the end too, which I think are really fun. But you are going to first thread that metal diamond through your needle, which would be super easy because it's not floppy like your thread, like your floss will be. and it's super duper thin. So that should be pretty easy. You may need a little bit of some magnifying glasses if that's hard to see for you. But then you can just let it dangle on the needle threader. And then that diamond is extra large compared to the eye of a needle, so it should be a little bit easier to thread your floss through that diamond. So there, we've just put our thread through that diamond. Our needle's still hanging there. And now we just pull the needle back over the thread. It'll like do a little pop, and we've just pulled the thread through, and then you can like let the thread go from the diamond there. So that's how you use a needle threader. So that might be helpful as well. But yes, please, Jacob, please try that out, and don't let that, ruin embroidery for you. Once you can get that down, and there are, like I said, there are tools to help, like needle threaders. Definitely give that pinch method a try. Here I'm doing it again. So I kind of like let it be out a little bit long, and then I pull it down. I've been doing that just with my pinky here, but that's a little coordinated. So just, you can pull it down until that thread is in like the pads of your finger. You can just squish, which helps flatten it as well. And I'm slowly unpinching. The moment I see that, see the little ends there, a little bit of color, I'm gonna put the eye of the needle over the top and kind of push down, and there we go. I can just grab the end. But yeah, that's my typical method. Oh, good, Jacob. Yes, give it a try. I'll be here, I'm here every day at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you need help, if you give it a go and need some help walking through it again, just let me know. I'll be here. So, but I hope that works. After you can get the needle threaded, then you just get to follow an outline like you're coloring almost, and then it starts getting relaxing and fun. And I think I might run out of thread on this color here, or on this dot here. See if I can make it to this other side. But yeah, so then I'll weave in the end and we'll start another one. Do I not tie it off after I thread it? Oh, you can do that. So, Mushy Reese's Puff. You can actually tie it in a knot if you want. So it's actually tied to the eye of your needle, and that way your thread won't like slip off the needle. You can do that. That's actually a great way if you wanted to show, or if you wanted to embroider with little kids. If you thread the needle for them and then tie it in a knot, like literally just tie this in a knot here, then it's less likely that the thread will just come off of the needle. You can do that too. I haven't really done that. I should try that sometime. But yeah, I guess I just haven't really tried that. But I have heard people like that a lot for stitching with kids, and they're not constantly trying to rethread the needles for them. All right, there's that guy. I don't think I have enough I don't have enough for another satin stitch area, but I think I might have enough for a few more of these lines here. So I think we'll just do this one here. And now I like weaving in the ends instead of tying a knot on the back here. Like instead of tying a knot, I like weaving in my ends. So I'm just going to weave like 3 times into the back of these satin stitches here. So I'm doing that instead of tying a knot. It's kind of like tying a long knot, actually. Like if you weave in a few times and grab as many like threads as you can. And then the nice thing is I can snip it really close to my stitches as well. So I don't have any extra like floof on the back here at all. So I have a nice clean back. And now we're going to deal with this. So if you were here at the beginning, you know that we started off with a goofy little knot on the front of our embroidery. This is called, it's a style of waist knot. This particular one is called an away knot because we're starting away from our stitches. All this is doing is reserving a little piece of thread for us that we can weave in now. I know it seems like a little bit of a waste, but like I said, I hate having knots on the front because or having knots on the back of my embroidery because I hate when my thread accidentally catches on it, and I don't like the little, I don't like this little part of the knot. Like all these little end bits always pull to the front, and I hate it. So ever since I started weaving in my ends, I don't have any of those problems anymore, and the backs of my embroideries got like way cleaner and stuff too. So I do like taking this extra step. So I'm gonna just cut that knot off now. So we don't need that. And that basically released our little extra piece of thread that we were reserving. And so I'm gonna just thread that again. I'm gonna use that pinch method. It is a little difficult with my nails now though. My nails haven't been this long. So we'll do it like from the side and unpinch a little, and there we go. A little hard with this tiny bit of thread too, but I'm going to weave in those ends through the ossicones. So our new giraffe term of the day is ossicones, those little giraffe nubbins. So it's always like this third movement that kind of locks it in. So the third weaving motion. And there we go. And we can snip that nice and close to the stitches as well. And here's our back looking awfully nice. I did jump across the face there. I don't usually do that, but I figured there's going to be lots of other stitches there. So I'm not too worried. But there we go. So I can start my next thread. And I can start my next thread by weaving into the backs of the stitches. I don't have to start with another away knot. Now that we have stitches on the board here, I can use those stitches. So I'm gonna, that same one that we wove the end in here, I'm gonna weave in the new piece of thread, and then we can just start right back up again. So here's our thread from, that I just showed for the, for threading it using that pinch method. I'm just gonna use this. It's our second half of the 6 strands that we split at the beginning. So let's do that pinch method again. I don't have to tie a knot in the end this time. All right, pinching, let's squish it down, and then let's slowly unpinch. Oops, let's put the eye of the needle there. I was gonna put the non-eye of the needle there, the wrong end. That wouldn't work. But all right, unpinch and get the eye over the top and just push it down and just grab that other end. There we are. And okay, so this end I'm going to weave into the backs of these stitches here. I'm going to try and grab as many threads as possible. You can leave a little bit of an end out so you don't accidentally pull it out when you pull it through. Oops, and I think I got a little knot there. God dang it. Those stupid, hold on. Those stupid loopy knots. There we go. All right, so one more time. That was 2. Going back for the third time. I always do 3 passes. And that'll kind of lock it in. There we go. So I can pull on this. It is not coming loose. And I can actually even trim off this extra floof on this side. There we go. So there, we're all threaded in on the back there, and now I can just get going again. And I think, let's tighten that hoop a little bit more. I think, why don't we get the rest of these little hairs, and then we'll get this guy, we'll go doot, doot, doot. And then we'll just kind of, I don't know, zigzag our way down here. So let's start right here. Oh, Gretchen says that she's become really good at that pinch method. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love, that's just, I don't know, it works the best for me, that pinch method of threading the needle. And I know another popular way that people do it is they fold their thread in half and then get their needle in there, and then they like pinch their needle really tight here and pull it out, and then they have like a nice clean edge there to thread. But I feel like that's a lot like my pinch method, but why I don't like this is that you're doubling up the thread again, right? By folding it in half, now I gotta thread 6 strands through my little needle instead of just 3. So I like the pinch method better, which I think is similar. You cut a clean edge and then do it because I have less threads to try and fit through. But I know that's a popular way. I used to do it that way, where I'd fold over the end and like pull it out and then get it. But I think the pinch method's a little bit easier. Oh, Mushy Reese's Puff says, I hate dealing with knots also. I'll most definitely try weaving into secure. Oh, give it a go. So I always go back and forth 3 times. It's that third time that kind of locks it all in. It's like making a long knot over a bit of an area. And so the 3 times, and usually I like going in the backs of like back stitches and going over a half an inch or so worth of area, but I only really had these satin stitches right now on the board, but even just back and forth, you want to get as many different threads as you go back and forth. You don't want to take the same path as you go, but even in that tiny little bit of the satin stitch, that's pretty secure, and it's as secure in the wash. I haven't had any stitches come out ever. I think it's actually more secure than just a knot, because sometimes that can get just like loose if you rub at it. All right, so I put a couple stitches there just to kind of be like my guideposts again, and now I'm going to fill in the gaps. That's just so I don't like accidentally veer off with the stitches. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's already 9:30 just about. So we'll probably call it quits here in a little bit. I'm typically here just for an hour in the evening, 8:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. So we will continue this again tomorrow. I think we'll work through all these little baby satin stitches, all these little cute little dots, and then we'll get the outline done. Oop, I almost dropped the needle there. There we go. But yeah, so I think I am going to come during the day tomorrow. So and that'll probably just be on TikTok, because I won't have the setup to do YouTube and Facebook. But so if you go to TikTok and do a search for penguin and fish, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook right now, and click, give me a follow over there. I think you may be notified when I go live. I'm not quite sure what time it'll be, but it'll probably be morning-ish still, or like early afternoon. And I'll be packing orders, so you'll get to see a little bit of where I store stuff now that I'm back home here again. And I'll be packing up all your embroidery of the month orders, and then just, I know there's other orders as well, so we'll get those done too. And it's gonna be I'll be down there for a long time, so I'll probably be live for a while, assuming everything works out just fine. So if you want to chill with me tomorrow, I will be live more during the day, and then of course in the evening here again we'll be stitching this guy. But I think I might do some more like bonus things for anyone ordering during the live and stuff again. That was kind of fun when we did that last week, for sure. But yeah. Oh, what type of fabric do I use? I am using a unbleached cotton muslin fabric. It is very, very easy to get at like a Joann's or any fabric store will have like a muslin. This is kind of like what they make sample clothing out of, like test clothing and stuff. I like it because typically it is a little looser weave. Like it's not as tightly woven as a like high quality quilting weight fabric or something like that, or a high quality like tightly woven cotton fabric. This is just like a nice little unbleached muslin. I like the unbleached because it gives you the little speckles and stuff. Oh, you have to hide the secret thing you put in. Oh yes, I have not shared what the secret thing is yet. You're right. Oh, you're right. I'll have to think about that, Robin. So we have a little freebie that comes with our kits. If you see it tomorrow, that's fine. It'll be still fun to get in the mail. But yeah, so I'll actually probably show you guys what the freebie is too, because it is going to determine a little bit what we're going to be doing the last week of the month here. Oh, I think I'm going to stitch one more here before calling it a night. So let's do a little diagonal. We'll do a diagonal this way again. I'm doing these satin stitches in all different directions. Within each circle, it's getting late, all my words are blending together, but within each circle, I am having the stitches the same direction, but each individual circle, the stitches are different directions. So I'm just putting my little guidepost down, I think about right there. Yeah, just trying to get some parallel lines there, and then I'm just filling in the gaps. We'll start on this side. These actually go pretty quick once you get in a rhythm. These little dots. You can also use like a linen, works really well for embroidery too. The trick with a quilting weight woven cotton fabric, sometimes that can be difficult because it's so tightly woven. It can be a little difficult to pull the needle through, and that's why I like this muslin a little bit better. We do have this like pre-cut in our shop like this too, if you don't want to do all that work. But yeah, I this is my go-to for sure. It's just a cotton muslin. All right. Last little stitch there. All right, I think I will. You know what? I don't even think I'm going to come up. I was going to come up at like the next thing, but I think I'll leave that decision for tomorrow. So I'm going to just let this sit here tonight. But again, I do really like the stitches going in all different directions. Like if we get real close on it again, you can see that all the satin stitches in each dot are different, and the light is just going to hit each one of those different. So it's just going to be like a subtle little extra fun, playful thing with it, I think. So I'm loving it. I didn't think we'd actually get this far, just because all these little satin stitches do take some time. But they're so poofy, like they all have dimension, like it's like a little, like those candy dots. They almost feel like those a little bit, like you can just pull them off. But awesome, so I'm definitely thinking we should be able to finish all these satin stitches tomorrow. I know we kind of chit-chatted tonight, which is totally fine. I'm more than happy to do more demos and stuff tomorrow, or whatever. You know, this will still, no matter what, we'll still get this done this week, I'm thinking for sure. But yeah, so that is that for tonight. All right, hello, I'm going to scoot you on over. Yeah, so this is going great so far. I love these little satin stitches, and we'll be back tomorrow for more at 8:30 p.m. Central Time on the Giraffe. But like I said, I think I'm going to pop in probably tomorrow early afternoonish and just be on with you guys while I pack orders. And yeah, we'll have some little fun things for anyone who orders during the time I'm live, I think. Oh, and yes, and be sure to check out the new embroidery of the month is the little chickens. We released that on Sunday. Here's the cute little kit. And they're available now, and I'll be shipping them tomorrow. So if you have an order waiting to go out with me, they'll all be going out tomorrow. So, oh, you don't do TikTok, Amy? Yeah. So I'll maybe try and put the live up on YouTube when it's done, but I have to download it to do that. But yeah, otherwise you can even watch TikTok on just on your computer if you don't want to download it. If you don't want to download the app, it's just TikTok/penguin and fish, and then you'll be able to watch live. It'll go to my page, and my icon will be like having a glowing pink circle around it, and that means I will be live. And then if you click that, then you can still watch the live and not have to download TikTok or anything. So just right on your computer. And actually probably from a browser, so you can do that probably on the phone too. So anyway, I'll probably announce it over on Facebook too right before I go live, just as a reminder. And I'm gonna sleep, and then I'll be ready to pack all those orders tomorrow. So awesome. Thank you guys again. I hope to see you tomorrow, and have a great evening. Good night. Oh, hey, Toriel, or Tori Lynn, sorry, Toriel Lynn. Let me close this down for a sec. All right, so I was just stopping my other streams.